Want to learn how you can make these awesome perler designs so you can be the life of the party? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how you can make your own perlers coming right up. Hi everyone, I'm Doug and this is FatBoyDoug, a channel with an appetite for life. This channel is all about giving tips and advice on how you too can live a happy and fabulous lifestyle. So if you're new here, consider subscribing below. So today I'm going to be talking all about perler beads. If you've ever been to any raves, I'm sure you've seen people wearing these around their necks or on their wrists. I'm sure you've noticed that they're all different because you can actually design your own and make them. So I wanted to show you my very first perler that I made. Not sure if you can tell what it is, but this is actually Thor. Thor is my favorite Avenger, so there he is. The one that we wear all the time right now is the nerdy panda, which is pretty much the mascot of our group. So you'll see this on me all the time. But I've made so many others. This is actually Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, along with Ghost. I have an Juno Beats logo, and then a name tag with my name on it. But in just a moment, I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own designs. It's a really simple process, but it does take a little bit of time and effort. But I'm going to show you all the tools that you're going to need and how you're going to make them. I'm also going to give you all the materials that you need in the description below, so check that out down there. But without further ado, let's get started. All right, everyone. So I'm going to be showing you how to make this awesome nerdy panda perler. So here are all the materials that you're going to need in order to make this perler design. First of all, you're going to want a template created, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second video. But this is going to help you understand where all the beads are going to go on your pegboard. This is a pegboard with 29 pegs on each side, and then you're going to obviously need the beads, different colored beads for the different designs that you're going to make. I also have bigger kits with lots more beads. And there will be a link in the bottom of the video to show you where you can purchase these bead kits. You're going to want a set of tweezers because it's going to be easier for you to put the beads onto the pegboard. And then you're going to want parchment paper as well as an iron, because you're going to use the iron's heat to iron the beads so that they fuse together, but you don't want to iron right onto the beads because they're going to melt onto the iron. So you don't want to ruin your iron, so make sure that you have parchment paper ready, and you can reuse it multiple times. This has been used at least, I don't know, 30 times, and you can buy a roll of them, a roll of parchment paper at any grocery store for very cheap. So let's start off by looking at our pattern. I have created a template that has the 29 on each side, and then you just basically fill it in. This is an Excel spreadsheet. Again, I'll have a link to this in the next video that I'm going to be doing. But as you can see, each box corresponds to one peg on the pegboard. The green, I'm probably going to use a different color, but it's just to show you that I'm using a different bead for that section. And then everything in the white here is going to be a white bead. Everything outside is just blank. So in your template, you can actually fill it in with maybe a beige or something very light so that you know that that's going to be a white bead if you want. But for me, I just left it blank. All right, let's go ahead and start. So you can really start anywhere you want, but just remember that it's 29 on each side. So if you find number 15, this is going to be the center. So this is 15 here, 15 here, and I'll find 15 center here. It doesn't matter really where you start at the top, just make sure that you give yourself enough room. So as you can see, this goes from 2 to 20, which means it's going to take 18 beads up and down. So just make sure that you have enough room here. Let's start off with some black ones. So it's just one by one, you're putting the beads onto the board. Sometimes I like to put 2 at a time. And if you're not understanding what I'm doing right now, I'm actually just doing this long line right here. As you can see, it takes a lot of meticulous skill to do this. It's definitely not something that you can do quickly. It does take a lot of time and effort to line the beads up and make sure that they're in the right place, and also you're counting correctly. So it's definitely not a project that you can complete really quickly, but it's really fun, and it kind of relaxes me while I put the beads on. So I've completed the first row, which is right here, this entire row of black. It just gives me a good sense of where to start and then where to go from there, because now I can just count up one and do the 6 here, and then also the 6 here, and then the 3 there. But just finding one row that is all the same, it kind of helps you to have a good starting point. All right, a good tip is to move your pegboard around so that you're not twisting your wrists like this. So move your pegboard around so that you don't have to move your wrist around. Now, I can't stress enough how important a good pair of tweezers are, because as you can see, if I'm trying to do this with my hand, there's no way. I'm gonna knock things off. It's gonna take forever for me to like put one at a time, one bead at a time, trying to meticulously put it onto the peg. But with tweezers, you can actually grab two beads at a time, like this, and then just place them on. So this particular perler isn't actually that big. It's only about 19 beads by 18 beads. Obviously not completely filled in into a square, but even this size of a perler, you're gonna need a lot of beads, especially if there are a lot of the same colors. Like the panda is just a bunch of white with a bunch of black with just some color for the sunglasses or the glasses. So you'll want to make sure that the plain colors like black and white, you're gonna want to buy more of. Normally the kit, they'll all come with the same amount of beads for all the colors. So you may want to just buy white and black separately, because you're always gonna want a black to outline the outside of it, to give it a little bit more definition when you're wearing your perler. So I'm almost done. I only have the last little bit of black left on the bottom. A couple more beads here. Just one last one. Oh my gosh. And voila! There it is. So here is the template, and here is my Purity Panda. He's so cute. All right, so the next step in making this perler is you're gonna wanna fuse the beads together. Because right now, obviously, they're all loose. If you try to move them, they're gonna go all over the place. In order to make it into this flat pattern, flat perler, you're gonna want to fuse it together by heating up your iron. So we're gonna put the parchment paper over it. It doesn't need to be double, just one layer is enough. And you're gonna get your iron. You're gonna wanna set your iron into a setting that's pretty hot, but not where it goes into a steam mode. So if you have a steam iron, you don't want that to happen, because you don't want to get your parchment paper wet. So you're just gonna want the dry heat. So for this iron, it's just up to the 3, or in between the 3 and the 4 is gonna be enough. All right, guys, once your iron is ready, you do not want to lift your parchment paper up again after it's been pressed, because then any little heat is already going to melt the perler beads themselves, and then they're going to stick to the parchment paper. So once you've started ironing, you need to make sure that you keep pressure onto the paper. Not too much pressure, but you don't want to lift the paper off of the pegboard. Okay, so we're going to start ironing right now. if you can kind of see right now off of the side, you can see that the perler beads are actually getting, the hole in the perler beads is actually getting smaller. It means that it is fusing together. So a quick tip right now, these holes up here where they're starting to fuse, I actually am gonna leave that up there not too fused, so the hole's a little bit bigger, because I'm gonna be putting a string through it so that I can make it into a necklace just like this one that I already have. So I put the string through one of the holes in the ears, and then I made candy out of that, and then I can wear it around my neck. Okay, so you can see that the holes are completely gone down here for the white. The black is pretty close, and you don't need to be completely perfect. What you're gonna do right now is gonna leave it to cool off a little bit before you peel off the parchment paper. Otherwise, again, any of the parts that were half heated or not as heated yet are gonna come off of the grid. You don't want that to happen. So it's probably going to take about 2 minutes or so for it to cool down. What you could do is slightly check on the sides as you kind of peel the parchment paper off to see if it's starting to peel off easily. So, but you also don't want to risk it too much either. So what you want to do is definitely peel off very, very slowly. There we go. So you're able to peel the entire parchment paper off of it. And now we have it still on the pegboard, but you should be able to peel it off of the pegboard pretty easily since it's all fused together. So it's now one big piece instead of different little beads. On the back side, it's still gonna be a little bit holy, and that's okay. You don't need to actually fuse both sides. I actually like seeing it from the side where you can see the holes, because it has more of a pixel art kind of look to it, or you can display this side of it as well. So there you go. That is how you make a perler design. Like I told you, I'm going to be making another video that shows you how to actually create your own templates. This is a template of the Nerdy Panda that I'm going to include into this video. You just have to click the link in the description below, and you can find this specific template. Otherwise, if you want to create your own templates, I'm going to be making a video on that by using just an Excel spreadsheet. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video on how to make perler designs. Please subscribe to my channel right here in order for you to see more videos, but also like this video and comment below on what you kind of want to see in future videos, and then check out my other videos right here. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Bye-bye.